So going back to the beginning, there's obviously quite a lot to unpack. How did you said you got on the property ladder at
Yeah,
22? That was when you bought
yeah,
your first place. Obviously
yeah.
pretty young
Best,
to be getting on the
it was the
property
best
ladder.
decision I ever made,
So
really.
obviously, right. So I think things now, are changing a little bit, and people aren't necessarily as eager to get on the property
Yeah,
ladder early, because I think stuff's shifting. People want to potentially rent for a bit longer and kind of have a bit more freedom to kind of move around and try and work out kind of what they're doing. So how did you make that happen at 22? Like, how was you in that position to go out and buy
again,
property? Do you have a high paying
no.
job, or
Well,
how did
I
it?
was a florist at the time, working over
Mm,
in Canary Wharf, and obviously my boyfriend, he had a full-time job, and it was kind of just they'd built these new apartments literally about 5-10 minutes away from my parents' house, and I was just like, oh, why don't we just go and have a look, kind of thing, and we did. And I kind of, again, you go in there, you see the show home, you're like, oh wow, this is perfect. And yeah, I basically come out and I'd signed my name to it. So obviously, being a local resident, you kind of got a bit like first refusal, kind of like within the area, kind of thing. And that's
Was this it? Was this in
no,
Upminster? Where
no.
you?
This was in Beckton, in East London. So
Better.
yeah, that's
Mm.
basically you got. I can't remember exactly because obviously it was that amount of years ago. But you got priority first, being like a local resident, and that's what we did. So we just put a deposit down, and yeah, it was a shared ownership thing. So again, I hadn't really looked into
Mm.
it, but at the time, being young, it was shiny, it was new. I thought, oh, this was it.
Yeah.
So that's how we got on the
Yeah.
property ladder, and yeah, it was a stepping stone, really. So going in hindsight, going back now, obviously, I would have probably looked to a bought and owned it outright. But at the time, you're young, you're naive, you don't really foresee these things. But yeah,
I've never quite understood that the shared ownership. How does
so
that work?
with the shared
Is it?
ownership, at that time, you could buy a percentage. I think it was 25% that you could buy. So obviously, you rent half, and well, not half, but you own 25%, and then you get a mortgage. Sorry, I'm trying to think now back myself. So you get a mortgage. I think on it's
You basically so you get a mortgage for the
yeah,
percentage that you own, and then you
rent the
basically rent
rest.
the
Yeah, that's
rest.
it. Sorry, yeah, that's basically what you do.